And we're live on the twitch.tv / the Xisuma, playing the Minecraft, the Hermitcraft. That is what we're doing. I'm in a hole. We're going to work on a farm today. We're going to build a farm. I have no design in mind other than using my Minecraft knowledge to build one on the fly. That's what we're doing today. Also, I kind of need to keep track that direction of what direction I'm facing here. We got bananas in chat from Devin Crates. And Blackjack, welcome. So many tags on the blocks. Yeah, there is, isn't there? There is. What? I wonder if there'd be a nice way to organise that kind of information. I think for my personal use, like, it'd be nice just to have the hashtags have a different highlight. Is it F3M or is that a Light Madoka thing? How do you... Oh, that's the wrong button. Yeah, it's that one. So if I go into targeted... Ooh, right, enabled, right? Tags are enabled. I don't think you can give tags a different colour. And I could disable the tags, but... Honestly, for Hermitcraft, I don't think I'm going to need to look at that very often. In a snapshot, I would want to look at that. Right, and now my coordinates are... Still find it a little tricky. Where am I looking? Here. No, that's blocked. My coordinates that are just there, 62. Now, those I could actually give a different colour. So if we go into coordinates... Oh, I could also move them, which might not be a bad idea. That might be the better way to do it. Rather than change the colour, just move it up. Because now it's right up there at the top. I could even move it up further if I wanted to, but I'll leave it up there at the top. Just makes it easier to spot. Right, so I need to go in this direction. I'll tell you what else would be nice for that mod is to not only have F3, but maybe like an F3 other button that's like a reduced. So if you just wanted to bring up coordinates, you know. Hey, we got noises in the air. Devin Crates is here for 20 months. Nitsa Dub or Bub here for 5. Phantom's Logic here for 15. Thank you for your tremendous support, peeps. Was half expecting the stream tweet to have been an April Fool's troll. I was well aware of April Fools in advance, and I just couldn't think of anything that I wanted to do. And today I actually thought of something brilliant, so I put it in for next year, a little reminder. Yeah, this is not a troll. And I'm going to be on the lookout for an April Fool's Mojang snapshot later today. And that's one of the reasons why I'm streaming earlier today as well, just because had a bit of a late night and I need an early night today. But we'll have to see what Mojang are up to, right? Yesterday's snapshot was one of the best snapshots in a while for multiple reasons. Well, mainly for one reason, but it just had a lot of good stuff. We'll talk about that as people tune in. Dew Dynasty, thank you for the Prime. Appreciate it. Hope you're up for hanging out as we build a farm today. Biffa says, I've been aware of April Fools this year since April the 2nd last year. I can't remember what I did for April Fools last year. My favourite April Fools that I've done is the old school, like 2010 Minecraft video. That was such good fun. I feel like that could have gone further. That could have been like a whole series of videos. I hear zombies. I don't like it. Soy J123, thank you for 10 months. Greatly appreciated. Loved your April Fools with the build team. That was a great one too. That was a good one. I didn't partake in the Hermitcraft April Fools. I'm not a prankster. I'm not a... I think if I were a little better at building spontaneously or I don't know, you know, the sort of type of build that you need to do a prank, then I'd have fun doing that. But yeah, the whole prankage thing is just not really my strength. And I just decided not to partake. One of the reasons we're digging out this hole is to get more stone for the wastelands. So we've got that going on. Evil X was April Fool's, right? Says Madros Fenorian? Well, I think Evil X has been involved around April Fool's time. The original, though, I think it was the landmark for the episode number, not the calendar. Blue Demon TR, thank you for 2 months of support. Greatly appreciated. Hope you're enjoying the stream. Wastelands HHH project soon, says Coma Dust Fire. I think I'll just build it all myself. It's not going to be like crazy big, so I'm happy to do it by myself, really. Not a prankster, he says Samurai. Honestly, no. Like, I'm being serious. Like, I've not done a lot of pranks on Hermitcraft. In the past, I definitely did some more, but I'd say of recent years, pretty much nothing. I think the days of, like, turning up at someone's base and, like, building a big thing or whatever, I think those sort of things have been done. Like, you gotta, if you're gonna do it now, you gotta build something, like, remarkable, right? Really eye-grabbing. And I just don't have that in my arsenal. Whereas, you know, the other hermits obviously do. So it just doesn't really suit my skill set, I guess. If you want to look at it like that. Please explain the hermit bot on Reddit, says person. I don't know how, because I don't know what it is. So this is going to be an entrance down to this area. That means my farm is not going to be that big. The farm we're going to build is, okay, alright, just you know, calm your excitement, people. Alright, don't go too crazy about it, but we're going to be building a sugarcane farm. I know, right? You're like, oh my god, you know, I thought this stream was going to be interesting, but now, whew, jeez, I'm going to have to take some deep breaths. Whew. Sugarcane, look at chat going wild. They're like, Sugarcane X, you're a madman. Jeez Louise. Strap me in. It's going to be a wild ride. Yeah, we're building a sugarcane farm, and not just any sugarcane farm. Oh, this one, it's going to be automated. Oh no, automated. Goodness me. Goodness me, look at chat. They're losing their mind. They're losing their mind. Burning H8, thank you so much for subscribing. Tentacle Jelly, thank you for 4 months. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, that's right. It's going to be a sugarcane farm. We're going to have a flying machine to harvest it. So when we harvest our kelp farm, it's also going to come through and get us a little bit of sugarcane at the same time. That is my thinking. Also, in celebration of the latest snapshot, we're going to add... I've just decided right now, we're going to add something to this that no one does. Okay. See, I was thinking... With yesterday's snapshot, there's going to be a change to a lot of farms. There's going to be a new mechanism attached to each farm to make it a little more friendly in the world, and that's to store the minecart hopper that you now get as a single item, to store it as an item in a chest and then redeploy it. And it occurred to me, you can already do this. You just need the player to come through and craft. So if you have a little stockpile, it just means on occasion you have to come through and craft the thing, right? So I was thinking, well, why don't we do that now? I've also just realised that I think it might be possible to add to the change that they had through a loot table. Like, what is it? Does a minecart hopper have a loot table for what it drops, i.e. minecart and hopper? Because you could possibly just have a minecart hopper loot table, so you just implement the fix of the snapshot into like 1.18, and that might be something we propose to the other hermits and be like, look, this is going to be in 1.19. Why don't we bring it now to the server? Because, you know, it can be done with a loot table, and it's something that will help the server's performance because we'll have less minecart hoppers sitting around, right? I'm going to build a contraption that has 6 of them sitting around by default. Be nice to lower that number, right? Lots to think about, right? Dr. Meme, thank you ever so much for the cheers and the biddies, saying, hey X, haven't caught you live in a while, glad to see you're doing alright. Just curious, what are your thoughts on the recent snapshot? So I really like the latest snapshot, mainly because of that change with the hopper minecart. Also, I really like the level design of the ancient city. Now, I've been thinking a little bit about my snapshot video, right? So, it's a bit of a rush to get it out promptly, and I do want to be prompt, but also I see that, you know, if you take your time, you can produce a better quality video, right? Is Corrales online? He was online. I might go to Corrales' and pinch some sugarcane, because I've probably got a bit actually lying around in a chest now that I think about it. Let's go grab the sugarcane. I'm going to need to start placing it down. How do you recommend getting maxed out enchants as quick as possible, says Rosa. You need an XP farm, and then you need to trade with villagers. So I would look at the villager trades and just see if there's a complementing pair, you know, like a XP farm that also has something you can trade with the villagers to help you get going. Something like that is what I'd look for. Oh. How unusual. I'll relight that another time. We are here to... I guess I can... See, look at these chests. I mean, I need more chests now, basically. X, when starting YouTube, what's better, quantity or quality, says Whammy? I would say what's probably best when you start YouTube is getting to grips with it yourself. Understanding the demands, what you want to do with your content, and probably best to start with an attitude of like, hey, my content's not going to be good, but I'm going to learn how to make it better. Okay, you might be, you know, you might be actually quite talented and come out the gates with a lot to offer. That's great if so. But I think it would be important to just start by learning and getting into it and not thinking too much about that stuff. Like, it might be beneficial for you to make lots of videos if you can do that and then learn a lot of things. If you do one video a week or once a month, you might not learn as much. So I feel like gearing your YouTube journey at the beginning to learning is probably the better way to go about it. And not try and break it down into like quantity or length of video or type. It's just about feeling your way into it and then learning as much as you can as you go. What did we come back here for? We're talking about like 3 or 4 different things while I'm trying to grab some items. It was sugarcane, wasn't it? Like a good see in chat, my dude. That's where the sugarcane should be. So I don't have sugarcane, so I'll have to go pinch some from Corrales, who, never mind. Corrales is a good guy. It'll never be a problem. Supreme Leader, thank you ever so much for the prime. Appreciate it. So, Rust in Places, any tips for streaming? Again, it's kind of like I just said, right? If you're new, you just got to do it and learn. I grew my channel here on Twitch because I had the YouTube thing going on. So the advice that I can offer is just maybe supplement your streaming with some external activity that brings people to what you're doing here. Despina321, thank you for 26 months. Like, for example, in chat, let me know if you discovered this channel through TikTok. Like, there's somewhere where we promote this channel. Right, and so... Ooh, what's this? Oh, okay, so it literally says top secret. I won't then. Top secret signs. I thought it might be a list of things that he's going to do. So somewhere around here there was like a bunch of junk chests. I don't think this is the room. Oh, except there are some goodies here and there. Maybe this is the place with the sugarcane. Okay, there's another bunch of chests around the corner here. This is the spot. Where is it, Corrales? Where is it? I mean, it's organised, so you could expect to find some at some point, I think. Corrales is more organised than me. Now, that looks like the sort of place you'd spot the... Do you know what? The sugarcane is, like, lying around the... now that I think about it, because I used some, didn't I? In fact, I think I know where my sugarcane is. It's probably in here now. That would be probably it. No. No. Okay, so I have used all my sugar. Okay, right. I know where to go. Behind the smelter on the right, says that Troger. Behind the smelter on the right. There's also some shulker boxes. Behind the smelter on the right. Depends where the smelter is, because this... Wait a minute, that's a big old smelter array. Yeah, I don't know, but I do know where we can go get some. I just... Oh, this is not good for entities. I think I hear a pillager. So it's boat cleanup time. Right, I've got to keep my head down around here. Oh, we got a bridge here now? Oh, I can go this way. See, look, there's sugarcane. It'll be all over the place like this, won't it? And eventually, we will get back to some snapshot talk. Right, I'd like to say I don't need a lot to get started, but this stuff grows kind of slow. And there's another spot where we can pick some up. We'll head this way. Okay, let's try and get back into the talk. MLDEG, thank you for 26 months, and Cosmic Dragon Eternus, thank you. By the way, I asked about TikTok and then immediately got distracted. Who was paying attention to chat? Like, how many peeps came over to TikTok? I really wanted to get that because I really like what we've been doing on TikTok. Why is my hotbar cut off? Oh, I've just forgotten to change the size of the window. That's all. See, I don't have a profile set up just for streaming because I have quite a few settings and mods, and if ever I change something, they'll go out of sync. It'd be nice if there was a way to launch the game with a resolution. There probably isn't because I use the launcher, so I'd have to go in and manually change it every time. And you know, maybe I could do that, but the thing is, I'll always forget to change it back or something silly. Alright, so there's probably a bunch of items now on the ground somewhere, but that'll do. And let's get out of here. I thought there was a Java command argument you can put in a profile, says Blackjack. There is. What I'm saying is that I have to manually change it, as opposed to having like a different thing that I can click on, right? And again, I'm looking at chat. I don't think I saw many TikTok replies. I don't know. God, it's terrible. Just immediately distracted all the time I am. TikTok is illegal in my area, so no TikTok. Illegal? Wow. Didn't know it was illegal anywhere. You can set up 2 identical profiles that differ in their resolutions, says Blackjack. Yeah, and as I just said, they'll come out of sync because I change settings and stuff, right? Like, I've got multiple mods, settings that I'm tweaking, in-game settings. It'll all come unstuck. I know because I've done it before. Like, that's the point that I'm making. There isn't like a toggle. What I would need is just a simple toggle. If I could be like, oh yeah, you know, launch the game with this resolution? Liger, go for it. Make a poll. And I'll tell peeps. Because, I mean, we want to know, right? Cool. The mods have set one up. Sweet. Poll in chat. Let me know if you discovered through TikTok, right? I don't know what the poll's set up like, because technically you only have to vote on it if you have. Let me have a look. I can't actually see it because my thing hasn't updated yet. What are we looking at? Manage poll. There it is. So you can vote no. Wow. A very small amount. Interesting. Only a few of you. But then again, we've only got 1,000 peeps watching. It's a Friday. It's the morning. It's an unusual time. I know. We don't normally stream at this hour on a Friday. Do you know what? I just went and, like, put a load of dirt away, and it's kind of like the next thing that I need. Luckily, we've got grass, so... saved by the grass, I guess. Also, these will need to get moved to the side. So... our sugarcane farm, I'm trying to visualize more than build, actually. I might not even make it that big. Like, this is a lot of space. And I don't need a lot of sugarcane. And I'd like to get a lot done in terms of having a functional farm. So although this is parked here, I could essentially build it much closer. But since we've got lots of space, we don't need a big farm. We'll start by building our thing around this level. So we'll do the typical sugarcane layout where you have this with the water in the middle. And then below that, we're going to need to put down our rails. So we come down as far as this level. And I think what I'm going to do is dig it down to here and put stone blocks at the bottom, right? I like to put like farms and whatever I'm building with redstone with a different block than that generates in the world underneath. Might also want to put in some light, and a good place for it would be through the water. I don't think I have a lot of early game full light blocks. We could probably go with jack-o'-lanterns, but I don't have a lot of pumpkins, and the public pumpkin farming operation is not a big one. So what options do we have, chat? What options do we have? Joe the Parts Guy, thank you for using your Amazon Prime subscription on me. Appreciate that. To anyone watching who didn't know, if you've got Amazon Prime, if you're signed up, you get a monthly free subscription you can use to support a streamer here on Twitch. Maybe collect shroom lights. Oh, shroom lights I've got. Thank you. I was thinking, isn't there like some block somewhere, some way? I could have come over here and just looked into the lights block, whichever one it is. So it's not in nether blocks. Hang on a minute. I don't recall. Oh, I took out the lights one. What was that for? Torches for putting in the area. There we go. So we're going to use this block, which will go at that level, have a rail and then water above it. In the toolbox, I do not have the water sorted out. We'll go and do that. And I also now need my redstone box. Right. And just looking at the width of this room, what we'll do is we'll start to move stuff over here. Because we're organised like that, aren't we, chat? We're organised. We're so organised. We think things through sometimes. There we go. Hey ho, what's that sound? Everybody knows what's going down. What is that, Skilo? All end in tears. Thank you for the prime. Appreciate it, appreciate it. Hey X, any tips on being shy when making videos, says Ken Speakable Gaming. Interesting question. So, what you got to remember is that you're, like, right now, I'm in a room talking to myself, you know? Where am I going to get this water from? I know where I'm going to get it from. Oh, here. There you go. I'm in a room talking to myself right now. And although I'm talking to all of you, it would feel different if there are a whole bunch of people around me. Now, I'm live, so technically I am talking to a bunch of people, but if I were if I were like recording a video, I have the option to not share that with anyone. I can record knowing that no one's going to hear what I'm going to say next, because I don't have to send it out to the world. So keep that in mind, right? Don't judge yourself. Don't let all those little thoughts of people are listening or whatever. Just think of it as like you're practically talking to yourself, right? And with that, hopefully that kind of way of thinking about it will alleviate the shyness a little bit. You're just doing it for you right now. Don't worry about everyone else. You can come back to that later, right? When you've recorded and you think, oh, I've got something here I want to share, then you can worry about it, but then it's already been recorded. And then maybe you'll learn, it's not that big a deal. X cuts all the swear words out of his video. Yeah, and when I swear on stream, someone beeps it. So I can't even be bothered to swear over here. What's the point? That's where it goes. Open all his videos with, hey, what's up guys? 420 No Snope Craft here. This is Fast ND Walrus. I mean, that's another thing you can do as well. You could literally, because no one has to see it, you could just, you know, record a video and talk in a variety of different ways. Some for your own amusement, etc, etc. Like, take advantage of the fact that it is a video and you don't have to share it, because that enables you to do whatever you like, really, doesn't it? In-stream beeping, says Shapolik. Yeah, I've got no idea how they do it. You know, AI, algorithms, speech detection, all that clever stuff. Well, I can't see his block count, says Salkit. Oh, right, okay, that's the cut-off at the bottom. I'm not gonna change it because I'm midstream. I'm just gonna leave it alone. It's called a button, says Bloodlines. Yeah, but who's pressing it, you know? Who's pressing it? So, I think what I actually want to do here is probably fill in the area above and then knock out the holes after. Oh, I love this bit of the song. Comes in with like a 90s dance beat. So if you look here, it's like 1, 2, 3, 4. Meaning it goes there. Oh yeah, you can also measure it that way. And then again. So yeah, what we'll do is we'll fill them in this space that we got here. I might make it a little bigger based on how many shroom lights I've got. It's always like an odd case of like knowing how far to go, but that is actually it. This space, right? Doesn't look like I've messed it up. Yeah, we got the technique down. And, oh, we got a whole other stack. I thought I only had a little bit left after that. There you go. So, yeah, I definitely want to make this about, I'm going to say like 4 blocks more. That feels like a reasonable amount. I hope I haven't forgotten anything or gotten too ahead of myself. This is pretty much it, right? Like 3 bits of sugarcane, that cuts off the top 2. All the items fall down, the rails go back and forth to pick it all up. It's all there. Any advice for finding music to stream or use on YouTube, says Blue Barker. Look for the Creative Commons 4.0 license. And contact people, artists, and ask them about it as well, right? Those are the 2 things you want to look for. Ren's Cold Sun. 26 months. Appreciate it. Appreciate it ever so much. Is this for sugarcane? I was messing around and found this pattern like 2 years ago. So happy to see this pattern where I look. Yeah, I mean, it's. I'm glad you discovered it on your own. It's always nice to discover those sorts of things. This pattern was has been a part of the game for like since Sugarcane was added, I believe. Like, it did not take long for people to suss out the optimal layout. So it's like a long. You know, you could probably just go back and look at every sugarcane farm I've ever built. Season 1 sugarcane farm was done this way. So it's not a new discovery, but like I said, discover things yourself. It's fun to play the game that way. Yeah, I'm a bit annoyed I went and chucked away all that dirt when we need it. Right, and there's a couple of spots where I can actually squeeze in like that, isn't there? And then maybe one more. No, not one more. Actually. 1, 2. No, okay. Yeah, I see, I see. Alright, all looks good. I don't know. Does it? It's like feels off. I think it's just the nature of the pattern. It just kind of looks a bit weird as it scales around the room. Alright, so we're going to have like the occasional dead spot. Do I have access to something a little more interesting for the surface? Maybe, I was going to say something green, but I don't even have green dye yet, right? I do have wood, and to be fair, this is not an area that's going to get decorated, so just in the name of potentially decorating this and making it look cool at a future date, I'd probably be more inclined to decorate the area with sandstone, but I'll tell you what, I'm really overthinking it for such a small amount of blocks. What I'll do is use that for the dead spots, right? And so the dead spots will be at the edge every so often, like there'll be one in the corner there. Possibly another one here as well. So yeah, if I place... Ah, wait. 2 dead spots? There is something... I'm sure there's something wrong here. No, what am I... Oh, I'm confusing myself so much, that's fine. This pattern seems to confuse my brain, that's what I'm learning. Something about this pattern just confuses my brain. Now that's the dead spot. Then you got the 1, 2. Dead spot in the corner. 2 dead spots in this corner? I think there's 2 in that one. Which might be an anomaly. That's the dead spot again. Oh, I love this track. How do you pace yourself so you don't burn out on YouTube, says Whammy. Just gotta be attentive to your own feelings and needs, right? Your emotions will they'll go up and down day to day, right? Okay, I'm gonna have to make this room a little bigger. Your emotions will change. You'll have ups and downs. It's about being attentive to them, I think. So, you know, when I feel things change, I respond, I adapt. So you just gotta keep check on how you feel. Now, that might sound a bit silly, like, well, I feel how I feel, right? But the thing with emotions, I find, is that you can sort of be in them without really assessing them or thinking them through. And it's the act of keeping an eye on how you feel that's really important. Wow, I made some cool alteration in that last message as the thingy. Alteration? Alteration? I didn't even see the message, so I'm clueless currently. Yeah, okay, right. So let's keep on with the block placing. I was just trying to think about the order in which we do things, but I think we're good. It's getting a little jumpy, the frames around here. Alliteration, chat, is correcting me. Alliteration, eh? You sound like the Headspace guy. So relaxing and good message. Headspace is like a meditation thing, right? I mean, that's where I've learned a lot of this kind of dialogue from, is engaging in meditation and mindfulness. It's been incredibly helpful to me. What farm are you making, says Wardy Warthog. We're making the one, the only, the most exciting farm in the game. Hold your horses. Prepare for impact. It's a sugarcane farm. Or bamboo farm. I'm seeing that flying machine, right? I have a plan later on in the season, right? I found another way to make a kelp farm design that's, like, say even better. It's just another variation of a kelp farm, but it's got some interesting features attached to it, right? With the whole minecart stuff. And I already had this plan to later on rebuild a flying machine farm with kelp, sugarcane, bamboo, and there was a 4th item. And maybe there's other stuff I can mix in with it, right? All from one farm. Dripstone, I think it might have been. Yeah, there's probably more than 4 as well, actually, that I could do. So that's a plan for like later on in the season. You know, on Hermitcraft we build big farms, and we kind of got on into a bit of a, maybe you could call it a trap, but a bit of like a routine of sort of building really big stuff out the gate. That's not how I want to play this time. I'm kind of reminded of something like Season 2, where you're just going to build things as you need them, small to begin with, and then later on you might revisit and redo. And especially with like 1.19 coming along, that could be particularly interesting. So my playstyle this season is just like enjoy building some farms, building up the infrastructure at the pace that sort of suits the area that we're in, the build that we're doing. Later on in the season, you can always come back to those designs and redo them, make them more interesting. You know, I say redo them, I'll probably build new ones from scratch, right? So what I could also do actually is have one that goes down this way. In fact, I like the idea of being able to walk around it on all sides. So I'm going to add... don't need that bit. I'm going to add a little bit extra here that I wasn't originally going to do. Because some of the sugarcane pops off to the side a little bit, doesn't it? We can pick it up that way. And if you happen to come all the way down here, there we go. I'm worried about Scar being up at this hour of the day. Like, usually when I log on, it's like, Scar, I've logged on. You know what time it is. Azarka78 is here for 53 months. Thank you so much, my dude. Really appreciate it. We also got Liger gifting a sub to a baby Orca. Thank you for giving that sub, my dude. Supporting the community as always. Orca, be sure to say thanks in the chat. So when we get to this bit here, this is where this thing can peel off and do something totally different. So I'm going to need a bit of... Oh, no, I'm flooding everything. Space around here. Well, I guess this has to move now. There we go. Yeah, and we'll worry about that later. So now what we got to do is place a whole bunch of rails, right? So we'll go grab some iron. I think I've probably got enough in my... Well, we can find out. How much have I got in here? Useful blocks. Wait, that's not got iron in. Valuables? Valuables? We've got a little bit to get started. Oh, dang. Do you know what I've kind of jumped the gun on is the amount of gold that I'm going to use here. We actually have a lot of gold. Okay, that's good. That's good. Maybe a reason to go caving later and get some more. Right, I'm going to have to drop off some more of these things in here just because they're taking up so much space. Right, and we want dirt, we probably want iron, but we're just going to get going with what we got. That is how we will do. Where the wood at? Where the wood at, homie? There it is. Where the wood, where the wood, where the wood at? God. Shut up, X. You and your 90s hip-hop. There you go. And then we need to make the other rails, the other type of rails, which we might have some of. I could even put them on redstone blocks. In fact, I will, because doing it any other way is a bit of a pain. Oh, look at that. I've already got a stupid amount of rails. Well, good on me for wasting all of that iron. Oh, X. You've wasted so much iron. It's not like you got a farm or anything. Ugh. You, Wally. Right, I'll put that in there. Zora Spinamana, thank you for 10 months of support. Time flies in good company. Hope you're well. It does, doesn't it? It does. Rails in a redstone box, says Koff Hagen. If you think about when you use rails, it's mostly related to farms and redstone contraptions. It might have once been used for transport, but some other methods of transportation have really sort of taken that away from it. Okay, yeah, so the last thing I need to do is just craft those powered rails. Rails of the power. That'll do me. And I think we're probably going to end up needing like 2 rails per... Might be worth doing a test. Right, I'm going to just open up a little bit of space. Okay, so... we've got one there to start. You know, I just had another thought about the size of this thing, right? It is like... let's just pop up here again. So we're talking 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15 by 5, 9, 13, 14. Like it's almost like a 15. Let's overestimate a little. So calculator. If I go 15 times 15, that gives us 225 multiplied by 2 for the amount of sugarcane that drops from a full harvest. Divide that number by 64, and that's 7 stacks. Now you could argue that there are some dead spots, and there's also water as well. Right, so let's count again. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's say it's 10, and then go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Right, so let's say 10 by 9 this time. 10 times 9 is 90. Multiplied by 2 for 180. Divide by 64, 2.8 stacks. Wow, that made a huge difference from the first calculation because there's quite a lot of dead spots. I think one hopper minecart will probably actually pick all of that up. That being said, no, because I'm counting the dead spots, and the dead spots are only at the very edge. So let's do it again. Like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, not that one. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So maybe it's more like 12 by 12, right? But we know it's short of the other one. So let's go 12 by 11, multiplied by 2, divided by 64, and that equals 4.125. So I believe a hopper minecart will pick up everything in this space. And if we made it any bigger, it might struggle. So I think we dodged one there. Now, let's count the width again. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. So 5, 5, 5 is 15. So if we go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This here is where I want to place the redstone blocks. And again, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That there. So now they're nice and evenly distributed. God, there's so many factors to be considered when you make a farm, right? Isn't it cool? Isn't engineering fun? Okay, and then when we've got like the odd one, we'll do that. On this side, we'll do it. What was I going to do? Towards the middle is the idea. And that's where all the powered rails go. I think this is going to work, peeps. I think it's going to work. All will be good in the hood. Ism-ish, thank you for 16 months of support. Greatly appreciated, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Curls of Doom says, this farm is easy. Proceed to spend 10 minutes counting out blocks. Oh, you make all the jokes you want, Curls, but you know that... Do you know what? I haven't considered... See? We do need numbers! I haven't considered that this is actually double because it goes round the corner. So the correct distribution would actually factor that in. You see? You see, you are supposed to count. You are supposed to think things through. Trying to make a mockery of me. I'm making all the smart decisions over here. So let's just undo all of that, right? Because we need to double. So let's actually do this a little bit more visually. If we go like so. We'll ignore the fact that there's only 3 there. It's going to be like, it would be like 6. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 8, 9, and then 6. So if I were to actually put it in this row, it would be 8, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, no, 7, so 7s and 8s if I shift it all over by 1, or 6s and 9s. My only thought there is that like it goes around the corner. I don't know if that really slows it down, but we'll split it evenly. So now it's going to be all about this one, and we'll have it where there's one of these go on the outside. So that means there, and that'll be that. It'll be settled. I just got confused now, says Lionhead. What I realised is that although we had this nice even distance of 5, 5, and 5, it's actually double because it goes round a corner like that. You have to double it up, right? The distance between... mistakes were made. This is always a bit of a pain. There you go. Yeah, we're talking about the distance between each of the powered blocks, right? Now, is that the old... So we've settled on 4 blocks from the edge. This is the old setup. Love how you stream in the morning. It means us in the antipodes can watch at a reasonable time. Thank you. No problem. I usually do this on weekends in the morning, but today was a very hole in the ground special day. It's April Fool's, right? And there might be a special snapshot again. There also just might not. It's something to consider. I think Mojang have pretty consistently always done something, right? I don't think there's been a year where they missed it, but like sometimes it's been big snapshots and other times it's been small jokey ones. I remember they did like a Doom thing one year. The virtual reality. What's the big thing at the moment? NFTs. Oh, and the Mojang devs. Oh, do they go on about NFTs? I bet ya, if anything, they're gonna do they're gonna rip into NFTs with some sort of NFT joke, right? That's what they'll do today. NFTs in Minecraft. Oh man, like, if they did or didn't do that, that could have been a little April Fool's thing I could have done. Dang. That'd have been right on the topicality of the day, of the times. Minecraft NFTs, brilliant. X calling it, says Curls. Yeah, no, I would genuinely not be surprised if that's what it was. Right? Like, I'm not one to, like, try and predict stuff in general, right? But just the waffle we're on has led me to realise that if you were, you'd probably think about what's current, what's going to be, you know, parodyable, and the devs, man, they hate NFTs, and, like, if they have the opportunity to use it to make a statement, I bet you they will. And honestly, my opinions on NFTs have changed over time. Like, I get the functionality of them. I still think the technology is a brilliant thing if used in the right places. But dang, like, just seeing a lot of shady exploitation of it at the moment, right? Those are the big. This is possibly like a negativity bias thing again, but you hear the stories of the shady NFT stuff going on. You probably don't hear about some good functional, practical uses of it because A, good news doesn't grab the attention the same way, right? B, there's a lot of, like, people get really invested and attached to, you know, whatever it, like, there's a lot of, like, identifying with things, I've noticed. For me, identity is not really, like, a way I think about being me. I don't really, like, identify with stuff in that sort of way. I did when I was younger. I was a metalhead or whatever. That was a big part of my identity, but I kind of grew out of that. Still love metal, of course. It just doesn't, it's just not a part of my identity, I guess. Anyway, because people are like that, I've noticed that, like, people become very resilient to information that is counter to them because they have parts of their identity tied up in whatever their opinion on the thing is. So a lot of people talking about NFTs tend to just be stuck in one camp. You know, they're either pro or against, and there's less of that sort of middle ground for realizing that this technology can be used in a variety of ways. And maybe you're just paying attention to the worst of it right now. There could be lots of good uses for it. So, yeah, what I predict will probably happen with NFTs is the current phase of scams and hype will get exhausted, the bubble will burst, and then the real uses will slowly emerge with more stability and more reasonable, I guess, pricing, air quotes, around it, or however you want to look at that. You know, the whole money game aspect. NFTs are going to crash and burn, says Baris Hamid. Yeah, and then after that, they'll come back to a reasonable level once they find their actual utility. Like, you're going through the hype phase. This has been witnessed with a lot of things over time, over history, that you have hype cycles, right? Everyone's in on this thing, everyone's talking about it, and then it crashes, people get burned, but in the aftermath, it'll sort of equalize and find its actual use case. The current form of NFTs have already declined a lot. Lots of rug pulls and obvious scams as far as I'm aware, says Spinman. Yeah, so it may be that it's already starting to crash, you know? But it's when people have stopped talking about it because there's, you know, because the crashes have all happened and whatnot. That's when, you know, like, it'll probably stabilize and then no one will care because, like, everyone's moved on to the next thing. Midnight Gamer says, like, why would you pay $100 for some butt ugly monkey? Well, it's all about art and speculation, right? And if you're into art and the art world, this thing has already existed for a long time. It's just now found a new space. What I'm interested in about NFTs is how they can be used to improve real world, mainly like bureaucracy and systems of like, you know, things that have like a lot of tape and management and organization around them, where you have to get a bunch of people involved and contracts and whatnot, and NFTs can potentially just take a lot of middlemen out of things like that. One of the really interesting uses for NFTs that's probably like a really difficult thing to get adopted, but may have some massive upsides, is using them in supply chains. Apparently the way supply chains are organized can be rather inefficient and slow, and moving them onto a blockchain would just make like so much stuff more efficient in a variety of ways. Cut out lots of middlemen, and you know, production and the movement of goods could happen more organized and faster. I'm into NFTs, Nether Farm tutorials, says Fast ND Bulbous. Yeah, I mean, you can come up with a whole bunch of anagrams. Anagrams, is that right? For the NFT. iLoveCat says, I truly don't know enough about NFT to understand what you're saying. Yeah, they're called non-fungible tokens, right? And if that sounds a bit complicated, you just want to think of it as like something that's verifiably accurate. It's like let's say the NFT isn't a picture, but like a contract, like Cats and Xisuma agree to this thing. It's then stored in a place and a way where anyone can verify and look at it and go, yep, that's exactly what it says, and then it can't be modified. So that contract that you and I just made, you know, X and Cats are going to build a redstone contraption together, that's now like in a place that can't be tampered with and can't be manipulated, and so everyone can see it and then hold you accountable to it, right? And that's a powerful thing to have. Otherwise, it'd have to be held by some third-party law firm, right? So we'd have to get some lawyers in. They got to write up a contract, and then, you know, you got to hope that the law firm is credible. It's run by people. People can be sabotaged, manipulated. You know, someone might blackmail someone and change the contract so it says that Cats had to do all of the redstone building. You know, like it's not going to happen, but the idea is that it can happen, that people are fallible and can be manipulated, etc., etc. So like putting the trust into this system that's online, verifiable by anyone, transparent, those qualities can be extremely useful in particular use cases. Right, what we've got to do, and it's hard to waffle about something else when you've got to start doing redstone, is bring this off of here onto an unloader. So I need to place down some rails to look, because we're going to do something a little different than normal today. So if we bring it in like this, goes here, unloads, and then it's going to go into a cactus thing. And then when we redeploy it, we also need something over there. Okay, I can kind of see all the components coming together. Cat says, I understand. Good, good. I'm glad you do. The technology side of it, the technical way of talking about it, is probably a little more complicated and nuanced than I'm explaining it, but that's the general gist of it. Blockchains can be modified as long as the parties agree to the change. Can that be done with NFTs? No. Blockchains can't be modified. I don't think NFTs can either. What can be modified is the system. So if you have something like Bitcoin, you have a blockchain. The blockchain is permanent once it's created, I believe. What can change is the system around it. Like if everyone agrees, hey, we need these fixes brought into the system, then all the miners partake in the new system, and then it just becomes adopted through that means. You could argue that could be co-opted if you own enough of the blockchain, enough of the system, enough of all the miners chipping in, you could then manipulate the system or move it onto something else. And sometimes you have what's called a fork, which is where a portion of the miners and the people involved go, no, we want to run this type of code, and then they fork off and create, like, you know, Bitcoin Gold or Bitcoin Classic or whatever it is. But in order for someone to coerce the whole system, it seems to be incredibly difficult because it's so massive and decentralized. And again, that's supposed to be another strength of it, is that it's extraordinarily difficult to manipulate because of those circumstances. And that's all sort of built into the design of the whole thing. Go crypto, go broke, says Chriso990. Yeah, so you're seeing crypto in this, like, you know, it's like a hype thing, a hype stage, but there's real use case behind it. And once the hype stuff is over and it's all crashed and burned, hopefully we'll be left with something that people can use and actually gain real utility out of. Could benefit in a variety of ways, you know, change people's lives. And there are places where things like that happen, but again, the focus is always on the bad aspects, on the bad news. Rarely does much attention get given to the goods that are taking place with it. You can't really call crypto hype anymore. BTC has been around for more than a decade, says Antonique. Right, it's been around for more than a decade, but it had a hype cycle, a crash and burn in 2016-17, and now it's going through another one in 2020 to present. And here's the thing, like, what time span is relevant? You can ask this of many things. It's easy, you know, I could go, it's been here for a whole year. It's fine. Like, what are you talking about? If you're talking about food, right? If you went, oh, this bit of fruit's great, it's been here for a decade. Do you want to eat a decade-old piece of fruit? Like, it would have fully decomposed by then. So, like, you need to think about the time scale and why it's relevant or why it's not relevant. I think I want to keep a roof on this thing here, actually. So, it might be great that it's been around for 10 years, but it's not been around for 10 years at its current form and stage, has it? And all the other cryptos haven't been around as long. I still think it's in its infancy. It's got a long way to go before it's, like, you know... Think about how long other financial institutions have been around for. Over, like, 150 years. So, compared to that, it's, you know, quite young. I think I need a chest. But in lack of having a chest, I'm going to put the chest to the sides there. We'll have... I keep hearing zombies around here and thinking it's nighttime. It's so annoying. They might actually all be in a cave holding items or something. There is some need. Oh, there's the cave. There is some need for some cleanup on this server. I've spotted a couple of instances of lag as of late, and I've been feeling it when I'm in this area. And I also spotted some places where we could potentially reduce entities, and this is part of what this farm's going to do, actually. In the spirit of the new Snapshot. Ow! Butt kicker. Right, so that's the unloading mechanism in place. Oh, broke it. Why? Where did my rail go? Did it not? Oh, there it is. Okay. And I need more rails anyway. So, right. Minecart comes in. Unloads, comes over here. So around here we now need cactus and sand. We will go in search of cactus and sand. If that's... Sand's not a problem, it's just finding some cactus. There's probably some in my base in a chest. So we'll head there. We're heading there for sand and cactus. I'm trying to literally say it over and over again to get it in my head so I don't forget. Then we need a dispenser. So we need to make a dispenser when we're there. Dispenser, sand, cactus. Simple stuff. My dog is gently eating my sleeve, lol, says Midnight Gamer. If you don't mind your sleeve being eaten, have at it. Have we got a noise in the ear? We haven't got a new noise in the ear. Let's read chat then. It would be such a funny prank if the Hermitcraft server leaked the IP, but it's actually a different server that says, haha, got 'em, says JMO1. It would, maybe. I don't know. Probably not. Probably just disappoint a bunch of people. What is your opinion on kids' channels? Disney Channel and Nickelodeon making famous singers Justin Bieber, Olivia Rodrigo and Miley Cyrus. I don't have much of a strong opinion on that, other than I listened to Olivia Rodrigo's album and opportunity to plug my music channel, my music blog. Oh, I do other things than just stream, people. if you look in the links, you'll find that I've got a blog where I write about music, and with the help of Liger, we turn them into videos on a channel, so you can listen to me talk about the record. Which is exactly what you wanted, isn't it? It's exactly what you wanted. I want to hear X talk about that Olivia Rodrigo record. I really love that record. I should probably listen to it again. I feel like I get through so many records, I'm never really sure when to like go back and listen to some again. Like I listened to Sabaton's recent record again yesterday because they published a history edition, and as far as I could tell, all it did was add a few extra sort of lines of dialogue here and there, something like that. X, your lack of strict organisation stresses me out. Wait, lack of strict organisation? That's got to be sarcasm right there. You just also made me realise where what I'm looking for might be. And it's in the other greenery chest. Okay, let's just head back to where we were. Sand. Also get sand. Huckles here for the nation. Thank you ever so much, my dude. I haven't seen you around in a while. Although I don't... maybe you've been here. I don't get to see every... Oh wait, the sand is probably in the ender chest. God, me and my strict organisation. I mean lack of, obviously. I only need one block. Yeah. I don't know if you've been there. Might have missed you in chat, but thank you for the donation saying also keep the environmental impact in mind as most of the crypto technology is still based on proof of work. Long time no see, but glad Season 9 has kicked off. Been enjoying ye old Minecraft content again and started playing again myself. Awesome, dude. Isn't Minecraft great? You can always come back round to it. Yeah, you're right. Another thing about NFTs is the environmental impact. There are some systems like Cardano move into proof of stake, which means their environmental impact is minimalized. I think finding a way for like the finance, the hype in crypto to fuel renewables and run them off of renewable energy would be like kind of a potentially net positive thing, but I haven't seen or heard of much in the way of that really, other than some crypto farms sort of claiming that they're running off of renewables, but some of that seems a bit sketchy. So we want pretty much a redstone block there. Yeah, okay, so redstone block and rail. So now it can whiz off in this direction. Then we need a block between that and the hopper. So the hoppers go here. The sand and the cactus is there. And then 2 rails. And we only got 1. And then that will be a dispenser. And for this bit, yeah, okay, I know what to do. Right, so we just need a bit more railage. Railage? It's a new word I just made up. It's a good word too. Right, so what did I say I need? Rails, I think? Which we have. I don't think I need any more of this. Although I might need like I need a button to activate my dispenser. Man, I just got the strangest smell of like curry in my nose. Like, I can't describe this, but it's like it feels half memory and half in my something is just like very triggered a smell of curry, but like I'm not actually smelling it. It's like a memory of a smell, but it's sort of half in my nose. That's really weird. That's really. If you haven't noticed, I'm a weirdo, so there's that. Ah, yes, the other thing that I need is some hover minecarts, right? Well, I've only got enough for 2 for now. And I can show you what the idea is. Phantom curry smell, says Bunny Mountain. Basically. Right, so we want that there. Then over here, 3 rails. I guess we want a block here. That's where the button can go. And then these 2 go in here. So, when we activate the farm, I'm going to hook up the flying machine. That's not a that's a feature, isn't it? Maybe you can't do it. Maybe you can't do it when it's facing that. I thought that was a feature. Wait. I know what's wrong. I know what's wrong, you Wally. You Wally. There you go. Right, so look, what's it going to do? It's going to go all the way around, it's going to come back, unload, and then get converted. Oh, there it is. I thought it just disappeared. Right, so now we understand how that works and that that's done. We do want the flying machine to set off a redstone signal. So when it comes through this way, we kind of want to automatically send it all the way back to the beginning again. That's when we probably pick up our redstone signal. So I also really don't want to activate the kelp farm, but I think it's probably going to happen, so... I'll take this and set it on its way. If I crash, I'm not going to accept that. No crashing. Ah! God! No, it's doing it again! Oh! Jeez! Jeez Louise, why does it do that to me? God! That was not me shaking my mouse, by the way. It literally does that. It's so weird. So very, very weird. Okay, at this level, it doesn't actually really matter where it parks. It is a bit like you got observer, one row of sticky blocks, observer. So you need like 4. I'm gonna give myself plenty of space then. So that's where the obsidian needs to be, and that's where the trapdoor is. That needs to change though, so it's like an automated return. I will need to check this. And we need to go collect that kelp as well. So this is flipped on the other side. So we're talking about this bit. So we... probably best way to do it is to detect underneath with an observer. So that's underneath the block in front of the trapdoor. So while that's clear in my head, I don't have any more observers. Where are my tools? Tools. I can go back in. And then over here, I have quartz in my inventory, but I don't have redstone. Okay, actually, make as many as I can too. So that's actually obsidian. This will then be used to send a signal back. So it's here. Here is where I think I need that. Nope. That's right. That's exactly what I need. And I kind of need it to just go down anyway. So then... Oh, I need to use this for 2 things. So it arrives. It's going to create a signal that goes in to 2 different places, actually. So we'll have this and that. So a signal can head down. And then it will appear here. Okay, so I need something there, something... Yeah, this shouldn't be too difficult. Didn't I just put all this redstone away a second ago? I won't need that again, I said. Right. Yeah, no, that works. I'm kind of guessing a little bit here. See, that sends the signal up. And then it turns off, it blinks. Right. So when it arrives here, it gets sent all the way back, is the theory. Now what it's also going to do is send a signal down and around over here somewhere. Ah! Bad news everywhere. Keep that bad news away from me. Right. Oh, I tell you what. What was... Oh! What got put back in here? Look at that. It missed the hopper, so... I tell you what. I'll probably put glass either side of that. Okay, I need to... Mental note that we're going to need some glass. Now, we need to get the signal to here. So I'm just wondering, it might be a little easier to run it this way. So we can have that block. I think this avoids... Yeah, look at that. Okay. Is Hermitcraft on hard or normal mode? It's on hard mode. X knows the carts will drop us to our MC explained at the beginning of the stream. He's going to stock the extra minecarts and recraft them when they run out. Yes, Devin. Yes. You're 100% right. And as I also mentioned, I'll pitch it to the other hermits that we could introduce that 1.19 feature potentially early with a loot table. Right, so now that we've brought this bit up to this level, we're going to go... Everything's a bit of a mess here, isn't it? Back round here and find out where that drops down. I guess I can hop in here myself. Yeah, so... Let's do a bit of counting. 1, 2, 3, 4... 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Let's put a repeater down here. My last one. Oh, I'm out of dust. I'm out of dust, babes. So glass and dust are the two things we need. Are wardens actually useful, says Zelda May Bloop. They are for making decked out. I got a lot of comments from people saying, RIP, Tango's decked out. And I was just like, what? Like, what? Why are they saying that? As far as I know, the warden's still in the game, right? You can still use a name tag on it. Yeah, the warden, is it useful? We'll have to wait and see, really. I can't picture it being useful for farming or anything. The point of the warden is to create an experience for the player. Guess we have a habit of looking at things through a technical lens a lot of the time. Had this comment that really kind of like made me think on my video about how I don't see lore in the game, which is absolutely fine. I just don't think about games that way. And it made me think about the new structures and the color choices and the building materials and how they're tying things in with the pillages, and that stuff tends to go over my head a little bit, which is perfectly fine. But dang, like, did this person just want to, you know, not only like point out that I've missed something, but try and just make it sound as if I'm disrespectful and rude, and it's the whole like worst possible interpretation thing again. Just because I don't understand lore and don't point it out and get it, doesn't mean I'm trying to be disrespectful and rude and stuff. It just... some of these comments, some of this like need for outrage constantly is a bit silly. But I found the comment to be really valuable actually, because I was like, yeah, you know what, I don't actually... Oh, another hopper there might be good. Oh, and then it's blocked by that, right? Maybe we'll leave it. I don't actually get those aspects of the game very well, and I was thinking, like, usually after I do a snapshot video and all the bits are in there, I kind of think if I'd have now known all of this from the very beginning, I would record some bits different. So I kind of want to do a better job with my snapshots. I kind of want to get a better understanding of the game or what's changed in it, like across to you, the viewer. So I'm hoping I can find ways to make the process of creating those videos like better for me, better for you kind of thing. Right, now let's give this a test well. You know what our sugarcane farm is missing right now? Sugarcane. So yeah, it would then knock down all of the sugarcane, right? Look at that little face. Ruh. That's the noise it makes. Ruh. Then it goes back. And did it send out a minecart? Yeah! Woo! Job's done. But not really. Right, now we move on to the sugarcane phase, I guess. And I think we're in need of some inventory tidy up over here. Curls of Doom says it's easier to read the comments when I'm not the person putting out the video, having created the content. I imagine it to be quite stressful at times. It can be. Every now and then a comment gets to you. But also you learn how to deal with that over time. Like, it used to get to me a lot more than it does now. I could have read that person's comment and been quite upset by it. Like, why does this person think so, like, poorly of me? As if I'm, like, what have I done to give them the impression that I'm disrespectful towards the devs? I just, you know, I realised that that's just what people do. Like, ignorance is such a big part of being a person. And I wish we could pay more attention to our own ignorances and just, before we speak, realise there can be a wealth of things you don't know. And that's not to mean you can't talk about something, you can't have an opinion, etc. Nothing like that. Just let's put those things forward. Let's you know, acknowledge that we're fallible and that we can make mistakes and all of that, really. And anyway, you know, so this person has like really kind of imposed a lot onto me through their comment, but you just, after a while, after doing this for years, you have to learn to just not take that as seriously as you could do, right? So I just looked at the value in their comment. I was like, okay, they're you know, even with all of that said, they make a really good point about the lore, because I was enjoying it just naturally, seeing the direction they were taking the ancient city in. But now I realise, oh wait, this is really tying into storytelling without actually telling a story, right? Just naturally having lore through the linking of the colour scheme with the walls and the use of the pillager outpost materials, just subtly tying aspects of the game together is what they're doing. And that's really cool. How do you deal with a broken hopper cart, says Ernest Flat. I think you just saw how I dealt with them. Just put them back together. Where's number 2 then? Number 2 must still be out. And there's number 8, number 10, number 11, and then that goes there. Yeah, much better. Right, now let's do some of this, some of that. That scared me. That really scared me for a second. Then I was like, no! Oh, okay, it's all good. It's all good in the hood, homie. Don't you worry about it. I said to myself, don't you worry about it. Also, is it me or is that erroneous? Okay, now we've got to look out for erroneous stone block placement. Maybe it's a bit more obvious, because it shouldn't be so close together, right? Two in the corner like that, this doesn't look right to me. Doesn't Mojang leave the lore up for interprets, says DRC? Oh yeah, it's all to be interpreted because it's not written in text. But they are making an effort to bring lore to the game. I wonder if this might be quicker if I were to just like fill the whole thing up. Like, I'll show you what I mean. Put one there. Put one here. That one goes there. Ah, I don't think it's letting me actually... they're not spreading, are they? They're not on top of a full block. No, no, no. That's my mistake. I've made a mistake. Or have I? Have I? Because when there's one here and there, that should create a new source block there. So it looks like it won't create source blocks on top of rails. That might be unintentional behavior. You could argue that it should spread out and make the source blocks. Fascinating. So we can't do it that way. Because I was thinking you could fill the whole thing up and then just... and then fill in all the spaces, right? I've also got to be super careful not to actually click on the rails. In fact, it might be a little quicker to just kind of do it this way for the moment. And we got one there. Yeah, I'm going to do it like this. And let's go get some water and put it in. Oh look, we got two like that in that corner. Huh. Funny. Funny how it ends up with different patterns in different corners. But Tadsy says, I don't think it creates source blocks when no full block is underneath it. Yeah, so maybe it'd do the same thing with slabs. Also, we've got a noise in the ear. Becca's gifting a sub to the Jeebus corner. Jeebus, good to have you with us today, my dude. Thanks for all the awesome covers. I do enjoy the metal. Which some people are like, oh, you play Minecraft and you like metal. What's wrong with you? Jeez. What's wrong with them? Nothing wrong with some good old metal. Sam Scott 2031 here with the Prime. Thank you so much, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Centre lineup Rumble says, what farm is he making? It's a sugarcane farm. And we've engineered it in a way that makes it actually quite interesting, really. It's got some functionality you're not normally going to see. That's part of the fun this season, though, is to look at, you know, we've got to do all the farms like normal, got to go through the tech tree, but let's try and do things a little different here and there. And we've had the opportunity to do that today. In the spirit of the latest Snapshot. Because that change they've added, it really is a great, great change. Especially with, like, flying machines. Seeing what the Psycrafters and the technical community will do with that when they mix it with flying machines, that's going to be very interesting. Actually, maybe it won't, because... here's the thing. You're not going to use rails in flying machines because they can't get moved around. So, you can... I'm not sure if you can even dispense one without a rail. Maybe it won't. Then again, you can... I don't know, you can move rails with flying machines. What am I on about? So yeah, no, it definitely will be usable. Just have to think about it for a second. It used to be that they popped off. But yeah. Pebble says he likes metal, he just hasn't been into listening to much lately. I say that, but I listen to it all the time. I don't know, it's just if I just think about what I've listened to over the last week, a lot of it's been metal. I think I'm always like wanting to branch out a bit more of what I listen to, but I just notice that I do generally just kind of end up like listening to a lot of similar stuff. Like even the things on my playlist that are like, you know, new to me are similar to stuff I've already enjoyed. Sonics 5 free. Thank you for your Prime subscription. Greatly appreciated. Ever listen to Nano War of Steel? No, I don't think I have. We do not say we listen to punk and metal because it tells on our age, says Adminity. I don't know about that, because punk maybe, if you're like... I don't know how... like, punk's sort of changed over the years, as metal has too. Like, if you say, oh, you know, I like metal, Iron Maiden, Ozzy Osbourne, Dio, like, chances are you might be older, but, like, metal also does attract, like, a lot of new and young listeners. Like if you say you're into Bring Me Horizon, then maybe you're more along the lines of my generation. And then there's a bunch of like new metal bands. When I say new, I mean new, not NU, that are attracting loads of attention. I can't really think of the names because it's like not really my scene, but all of these like djenty pop metal bands, like they got a lot of people listening to them, a lot of young audiences. So I think there's definitely some musical genres where if you're into them, high likelihood of it being of your age and generation. But there's also like genres that have sustained being able to attract new and young listeners. Like when me and my mates were growing up getting into metal, it was already like 30 years on from like Black Sabbath. So you could have said the same thing then. So like it's all about if like there's a music scene and people carrying on the tradition and doing new things with it, really. The thing he says metal is dead. I mean, to my ears, I have just not heard anything really since Meshuggah that has been like a real game changer. And anyone who's current and modern doing interesting stuff with metal is mostly sort of playing from theirs and Linkin Park's handbook. So like, where's the next wave of innovation? Where's the thing? Because this whole like getting extreme as you can has really been explored. And yeah, like doom, black metal, extreme metal, death metal, grindcore, that stuff's like really gone in hard to see how extreme you can get with this stuff, and there's not a lot of space for that stuff to go anymore. So like, where does metal go from here is the question. Suma, do you like techno? I like 90s electronic music, like techno and all of that rave and drum and bass and stuff, but I've just never gotten into it to know a lot about it. But I like those kind of vibes. Kelt MLK says, yeah, the Norwegian scene has done the extreme. Based on your taste, yeah, like Norway early 90s really just kind of like felt like perhaps like the last wave of proper extremity. But then post that, there's been bands that have like found ways to do like really push the low fidelity envelope. But again, it's kind of like not really new ideas, just taking those extremities even further. And like, where's the next new thing gonna come from, right? Like in the noughties, like breakdowns become really big. Like that was like a thing that happened from hardcore, like in the big sort of metalcore emergence with like As I Lay Dying and Killswitch Engage, and then like rolling over into deathcore, like that whole breakdown, beatdown thing. It's like a bit of a trend, but an innovation. Like there hasn't been anything like that recently, as far as I'm aware. Like it's all been a bit stale. The Black Ranger PL, 70 months, Evil X. I get to press a button. Pressing that button I am. Look at me go. Would you look at that? A 7 at the front. Yeah, you got it. You got the big 7. You could waterlog stairs or something like that to get the corners filled in. I could, but I won't. I think I'm just going to leave it like it is. But yes, if I were to put a trim around it, I could get in a few more spots with that. That's a really cool idea. Anyways, we are going to get our sugarcane. I think I let all of that kelp despawn, didn't I? Wait a minute. There it is. Let's get all of this stuff planted in now. If I remember, we had 4 stacks. Okay, if the maximum capacity of a hopper minecart is 5, then that halves into 2.5. So I'd need 2.5 stacks to fill this up. So I think what we can do now is fill in the whole thing, basically. Which is pretty cool. Ah! Falling in the water. I just picked up the Victory Lap album from Propagandhi. I haven't listened to Propagandhi in a long time. That goes back. Eskimo Cowboy. Yeah, I know who Eskimo Cowboy are. I would not consider that, like, interesting, really. Well, like, you say it's an interesting spin on metal. I disagree with that, because what they're doing is sort of novel and fun and quirky, and it's like putting tongue-in-cheek right back in to, like, their formula of metal, but I've seen so many bands do that over the years. It's just... Some get it and have success with it, some don't. I wouldn't say Eskimo Cowboy are doing anything new, really. Not to oh, they're called Electric Cowboy now. Yeah, I heard they changed the name. Not to punch down at them or anything. Like, I'm glad they're having success and fun, and their music's good to listen to. It's good fun, but like, it's not anything groundbreaking, in my opinion. A lot of this, like, depends on how much music you've listened to as well, right? Like, I've been listening to music, like, religiously for decades. And I'm very interested in watching documentaries about music scenes, learning who did what albums influenced other people, right? And you build up, like, a tapestry of all the things that have been done, who influenced who. And then if you're new, like, if you're new to metal, like... there can be bands that come along and you hear it and you're like, whoa, that's blown my mind. But then for someone like me, it's like, I hear this band in them, I hear that band, that one. And that's like, not a knockdown, it's just like, all music is like that. Every music has a lineage going back where it's like, something influenced it before the other thing. By the way, all the redstone in the attic up there for collecting the, stuff needs to kind of go, really. So maybe we could do that now. How much time we got? We got time. Just wondering, was there anything else to do with this farm that I might have missed? That was just for show, that chest, wasn't it? That's kind of it. That's kind of all we need. It's down here. I don't really want to decorate. It's a bit of a basement farm. When we send out the signal, it will come across, it will do the sugarcane will get picked up down below. Everything's here, basically, isn't it? I think I might go into that cave just to light it up for a bit of fun. Why do I keep hearing Electric Cowboy? That's what I was saying, wasn't I? Eskimo Cowboy, they changed their name. You are missing the chest. Oh yeah. Well, we'll go put those two there then. And then I didn't put away the redstone chest. And then we got this for all the other bits. Nice. Electric Cowboy, not Cowboy. So here's the second part of the name wrong. Oh, I don't know. I'm all confused now. Electric Cowboy. And I'm saying Cowboy because I'm an idiot. I just remember it that way. I gotta stop doing this. I watch their videos, see the thing, and the word cowboy just gets stuck in my head. Aren't you going to have big losses? Kane getting pushed out of the pickup zone. Yeah, yeah, I've got to build like some terracotta around it. That's a good point, actually. It might be a bit tricky to make sure all of it gets scooped up. It's kind of like over here with the kelp. But anyway, like I'm happy for it to be flawed, learn from it and improve, because I've got that idea to make the mega flying machine farm later on in the season, and I'll have some lessons learned from doing this. There you go. That'll collect. It hasn't collected a single thing yet. Single thing. Hey X, you know Carpenter Brut? I've got a Carpenter Brut record on my playlist as it goes. They're surprisingly more well known than I thought. I was looking at their numbers and viewership, and I was like, oh, this is quite well listened to. Got quite the audience. Eccentric Coal Boy. Okay, okay, we're memeing now, are we? I see, I see. Do you know what I haven't done today in the stream? I haven't sat down. I feel like maybe I should sit down. Right, that belongs in one of these. So if I grab some torches, I think we'll go into that cave for a bit of fun. And then maybe we'll dismantle some of the redstone up in the building up top. That sounds like a plan, doesn't it? Nice. Nice! So organised. So wonderful. This is my first time watching you on Twitch, says Ender Creeper. Wow, thanks for choosing to watch me. As you'll see, the streams are a little different from the videos. Just a little bit. Are you at a stand-up desk, says Yokiza. I was at a stand-up desk. Now I'm going to sit down. This goes brr. That's why X is so funny. He's a stand-up desk. Thanks. WTQ is asking if I've listened to old Amon and Marth records. Yeah, back in the day I listened to all of them. But I don't remember it that particularly well. I mean, sometimes I go back and listen to stuff like At the Gates. I'm pretty sure I listened to their records back in the day. I did one recently where it was like... Dang, I don't remember. Old Man's Child, I remember everything except the first record. For some reason, half of it is a bit like foggy. But it's weird how it works like that. But it's cool that you can go back and like listen to all records from years ago and find something new to enjoy, I guess. Dark Throne says, Celts Trumlook. Yeah, I reviewed the Black Trinity on my blog. If you want to read it, you know, you can go over there and search. You can do Control F Dark Throne, and you'll see it's on there. Any audiophile equipment recommendations, says Mr. Crafter. I got these Yamaha monitors, not speakers, monitors, and listening to music on them is pretty darn fantastic. But I'm not like a proper expert at that kind of stuff, you know. Oh, I'm stretching, by the way. Are you saying you like black metal? You gotta hear High Reaper. I love black metal. When I was growing up, black metal was the one where I was like, oh, this is blowing my mind. Because out of all my friends, I was always into like the most extreme music. And like trying to get them to listen to it and understand it, which took a long time. NS series speakers, they might be MSK, I don't know. Has it got it written on the side of it? I can't see. Any tips on survival? I'm very scared by survival and want to branch out from peaceful. Always to get over the fear. Well, make a backup of your worlds. Chuck it in survival and like, why have fear? It's a computer game. Don't take it too seriously. If you die, you die. Like, start learning. Take on the challenge. You know? Do you like Portal the band? I think I listened to their record and it was really like dissonant and oddball, and to the point where like it was like, where's the music? You see, I actually really like convention in music, and I like it when discordance and low fidelity and other stuff kind of like come into the mix. But if you don't have riffs and song structures and melodies somewhere in there, for me it can be a bit much. And I seem to remember that record just being a real kind of like stab at doing everything backwards deliberately, and I just ended up not enjoying it. I listened to another record like that recently, a little bit like that. Totally different style of music. Was it Orca or Arca or something? and there's just lots of these noisy, unsettled grooves for beats, and like unless you're gonna like land on some sort of conventional groove eventually, it just makes it quite unsatisfying for me. So like with something like Dark Throne, like it sounds really ugly, but the riffs just have power about them. They just have, you know, like they're not all the same, the riffs, right? But they have something to offer that is adjacent to like more conventional music, and that's the trick for me. That's like what makes it brilliant. Like a lot of black metal is like reading between the lines a little bit. You know, the stuff's in there. The stuff that makes a good song is in there. It's just buried under this wall of noise, and once you get past that, you realise that you can create something new with all that dissonance. What are your thoughts on stuff like Buried Alive and Polythea? Again, I think I've listened to both of those. They're just the kind of bands where I've like heard so much like that before. It's hard to get excited. Opinion on Imagine Dragons, says the panda. Don't start. Come on, don't start. Got serious questions. Adsmad, 3 months saying, hey X, I hope you're having a wonderful day. Also, chat, hope you're doing well. Thank you, my dude. Noxy Bry's here for 2 months. Appreciate you, thank you. Right, let's go. We want to get up to the top of this building. I think I need to. Is it night time? Let's see if we can sleep. Have you ever listened to a band called Knock Loose? If so, what are your thoughts? What did I just say a minute ago? Go to the music blog. Control F. Control F. Yes, I've listened to Knock Loose. I really, really love their record. In fact, did it make my top list for the year, I think? It might have done. What do you think of Meshuggah's new album Immutable, says Metschwat. It's only been out for 10 hours and I've been streaming for 2 of those. God, what do you think about that thing that's literally just happened? I'm messing with you. Yeah, it came out today. I haven't had a chance to listen to it yet. Been busy this morning getting all the things done, you know. Becca says, come on, X, you should have listened to it by now. Maybe. I'm not in a rush. I'm not in a rush to listen to it or anything like that. But X, we want to ask you about every band individually, says Devon Crates. That seems to be a trend. You know. Dark Wolf Hunter says, I've been listening to Insane Clown Posse's new album. You know, I was half curious, half interested in maybe doing like an air quote, I don't know, deep dive, but like go back at least to like their original 6 or 7 records and listen to them again, because I actually really liked Insane Clown Posse, you know, back in the day or whatever, when I was first discovering music and getting into stuff. But like I still really enjoy some of the music, but goddamn are some of those lyrics just so ridiculous. And I don't know, maybe I'll do it at some point. Maybe I'll just go on an ICP binge and like go through the albums one by one. There weren't a band that I listened to by record, it was more by like the popular songs I could get off of Napster. And so I imagine like a lot of the stuff that I don't know I wouldn't enjoy in this day and age. Misk Flamingo says, grown out of ICP. Yeah, I can understand that. I tend to try and hold on to the stuff that I enjoyed in my youth, and not like attach that kind of age thing to it, because you did really enjoy it at one point in time. Like, why not hold on to that, you know? Napster, now he's really showing his age, says Porn 3D Zilla. Yep, I'm showing my age. Trucking Bear, thank you for 2 months, my dude. Appreciate it. I used to do the old downloading off of Napster. Found so much cool music that way. So thanks a lot. It's here for 69 months, saying, not sure if you've been asked this question already, but are there more wheels or doors in the world? Dang, what? That's a great question. I love that. I love that question. Like, it's probably a total troll, but at the same time, you could totally think on that and have an opinion on it, right? Like, or an idea. So, let's have a little think together. Are there more doors? So, every car has 4 wheels. I think I know. I think I'm going to say wheels already, right? Oh, but then again, like a house has a front door, back door, door for multiple rooms. But wheels usually, like they're on cars, they're on bikes. There's things inside of factories and whatnot where you wheel stuff around, right? So like, every drawer has like 4 wheels. Yeah, you can have drawers. What about doors for drawers? Like, do drawers count as doors? If you open a drawer, is that a door in a way? I don't know. Is there actually an answer or an estimated answer to this as well? I would have to think about this deeply for a long time. I'd have to contemplate this for years. And I'd have to study it. I don't know. Multiple wheels in every room. Well, in this room, I have wheels, 5 wheels on my chair. The sound barrier behind me has 4. But then if I think of something like the kitchen has 0 wheels. My living room has nothing with wheels on it. I'm really torn. I'm really torn. I don't know. Who came up with that question? Like, that's like such a trolly question. It's so tricky to answer. Hey, look, we're getting a bunch of redstone supplies back, so that's cool. Oh, no! There we go. So I have to fix up the redstone here. I want to get rid of all of that. Okay, let's pick up some of these. God, they sink down a fair way before they decide to come back up again. Another flaw with this farm, if something is actually in the very middle, if it ends up in the very middle water stream, it doesn't get pushed out, but I thought of a fix for that, so that's alright. Come on, you slow coaches. Does the pizza cutter wheel count? Yeah, it does. That's the thing now. Like, so, like, does a chest of drawers, like, you know, you open a drawer, is that a door? I think you can make the argument in a ways it is. I'll have a redstone block because I need a redstone block. Also, inventory be very full right now. Ah, that's much better, isn't it? Right. And what did I say? Redstone block? Just the one, please. Just the one. So yeah, if I put that there, and then put the glass over here. If I want to remove all of that, I'm going to need a bunch of smooth sandstone, so we need to go pick that up.
Come with me into the magic world.
Right, and that's just messed up everything all of a sudden. Cool, right, so now we need some smooth sandstone, which again, I might actually have on me, and I need another block of glass. Yeah, I need I need multiple smooth sandstone and some glass. Do revolving doors cancel because they spin? Well, I think if it's got an actual wheel as part of its component to make it work, then it's both a door and a wheel. Is a gear a wheel? Oh gosh. I don't know. Ships have multiple doors, but not many wheels. What about machine bearings? Are they wheels? Machine bearings are like little spheres, aren't they? So I wouldn't say so. Pig Puncher is suggesting that wheels are used in everything, even things with doors, while doors are only on something if you need to get inside access it. Well, a car has doors. I don't know. Like, it would be funny to see if someone's ever taken that, like, seriously and done a bunch of research. Honestly, I'd love to know, like, what they conclude. It's just so curious to think about things at scale in the world and like, how would you suss that out? And what the conclusion is, and etc, etc. Right, I hope going through the bottom here doesn't break all the water. Interesting how it all stayed out. Oh, I guess those were flowing down water, so the kelp hadn't actually fully grown up there as of yet. So that explains why it decided to cut. Oh, there you go, that's what I'm on about. That's not going to break a thing. Well, permanently it won't. It will temporarily. Temporarily. Right, let's get back on it. That's when that starts. Fun fact, Lego is the largest wheel / tile manufacturer in the world. Guess so, guess so. There you go. Right, so that's that successfully all adjusted, I guess. There is one other thing here. Parts of this were made to be a little bit different. Yes, this build is different on two sides. So this side is actually going to get fully ripped out. So I'll take back these blocks. There's going to be something rather different here. So we need to put the lantern and the chains on the two sides that were modified. This is one of them, and that's the other one over there. Doom says UPS weighed in by counting the total number of wheels and doors on its fleet of more than 120,000 vehicles. Verdict: 768,000 wheels and 510,000 doors. Well, that covers the UPS thing. But how many more things are there? Yeah, I won't need that now. I think it was like 1, 2, and then the lantern. Here we go. That's that bit taken care of. Now over to this one. So this one was sort of modified heavily. I'm going to need some sandstone here, aren't I? Right, I will break that because I'm lazy. Oh, it's so slow. Oh, painful. Oh, finally. Sandstone was the other thing. Cut sandstone specifically. Oh, those are actually powering... Oh, right, so I did it with levers, and then over here I just did it with redstone blocks, whatever. Whatevs, bruv. What did I need sandstone? Oh, you. Memory like a goldfish. How do they know how much a goldfish remembers, right? Have they asked it even? Yeah. Oi, goldfish, what do you remember? Nothing, I'm a fish. Right, yeah, that's correct. And then that would now be filled in, and then the bit down the bottom would get modified too. And what was that again? That was the sandstone. Right, we'll hold on to both of those. Oh, you don't have a sword? That's right, I got an axe. Because I'm a pro. I don't know. Do the pros use axes? Maybe. Ugh! In we get. It's middle of the day. I don't know if it's at 1 or at 12 that... What is the rule on April Fools? Isn't it once it's past that you have to like retract your April Fools, or is it something different? You can only do it after. I think traditionally the idea is once it's midday, like April Fools is off. Whereas over at Mojang they're probably going to do something later on in the day. Don't know if they've done something already. Once past noon, if you try to fool, you are the fool. Yeah, that's what I remember. It's like midday, and just loaded up Twitter, and there's nothing from Mojang yet. So yeah, I'm going to be keeping an eye on that. I've scheduled myself some downtime with a movie today, which I'm hoping to revolve around. Oh, do you know what I'm going to watch? I'm going to watch a movie. That is amazing. I've talked about it so many times before. We're the Shins, thank you for the cheers and biddies, saying this question has my wheels turning and my mind open. Like a door. Like a door. Thank you, my dude. Thanks for the cheers and biddies and for the puns. Technically, Mojang still have an hour. Yeah, if they're going to honour that rule, then they've got the time zone thing. But in the past, I don't think they've specifically stuck to that, so... Ooh, this got jumbled up, didn't it? Did it? Wait. No. Why did I read that so wrong just a second ago? What is wrong with me? Anyway. Redstone. Yeah, so there's this movie that I absolutely love. It's called The Butterfly Effect. And, you know, there are movies that, like, really leave an impression on you and you think about them for a long time and you go back and watch it. La la la. Great movie, right? But as time goes on and new people come along, like some of you yourself, some of you are new people. Oh, look at you, brand spanking new you are. Some of you are young, you're not an oldie like me. God, getting on a bit. You know, the trap of time will just mean that some great movies will just become less and less part of the consciousness, part of the discussion and what people are aware of. And this movie is called The Butterfly Effect, and it's absolutely brilliant. And it also has some alternative endings, and one of the alternative endings is just unforgettable. In fact, I can't believe they didn't like go with that one as the main ending, because it was just so remarkable. But if you've never seen it, yeah, as someone points out in chat, never watch the sequels, they're a complete waste of time. But you should absolutely watch that movie. The movie with Ashton Kutcher, that's the one, yep. It's a beautiful movie. Just, it will really get your mind ticking over. It's such a good one. This is why we should have common time in an internet-connected world, says Widdershins. I was thinking about this recently, with a lot of discussion about changing the time zones. Like, apps on your phone are incredibly useful for organisation, communication, all that kind of stuff, right? If you imagine a world where, like, everyone is hooked up to an app in some way or another, right? We're a long way away from doing something like this, but there are good reasons to have the times shift and not be rigid. And a lot of it is about, like, when we get up in the morning, when we go to bed, like, revolving around sunlight being available for a multitude of reasons. Now, what would be better than having it just shift an hour suddenly is for it to incrementally creep up in, like, seconds and minutes over the days. So, like, you're always, you know, when you look at your phone and it's 9 o'clock, it's optimal, right? You know, optimal wake-up time or whatever. I mean, it might not be 9, it might be 7. But then we all think, oh, it'd be absolutely madness if we had to change it every so many days by minutes. But imagine if, like, your life was more linked, time was linked to a system. So all the clocks in your house could be linked to the same system, as could your workplace, as could all the amenities in your immediate area. And so they never have to change, but they actually change incrementally every day, maybe just by like 10 seconds or something. And no one has to ever notice, because we're using this, like, interconnected system to manage those changes. How it would work, though, from region to region, it might get a bit more messy and complicated. But again, if you've got to travel somewhere, like, the use of the computer and time zones, and it can all be automated and taken, like, out of sight, out of mind kind of approach, right? Wristwatches would be a pain, though, says Velvet. Maybe, but, like, you know, Bluetooth synchronization. It's not a perfect idea. Oh, do you know, I just remembered what we need to do. Not get sandstone. I need to harvest. I had something else on my list, and it wasn't sandstone. I need to harvest some wood, so we'll do that somewhere else, though. Anyway, y'all can probably, like, dream up some downsides to what I'm saying, and there's probably some valid downsides, but, like, try and just picture it as if we rely on clocks, okay, But now imagine that we never tend to the clock, that it can change for us, and that all of that can be synchronous across people. I just feel like there's something really interesting about that, because like the amount of efficiency you could produce from things like that. I do think like having technology as a tool to like increase efficiency is really interesting, and that would be a place where things could be just made extremely like efficient. You know, never having to think about time zone changes and clock changes again. It's just all done via you know, automation. Oh my god, the mobs are everywhere. If you enjoyed Butterfly Effect, ever watched Donnie Darko? Yep, Donnie Darko is another amazing one from thy youth. Okay, so we're going to need fungi and bone meal. Let's take some of that, and I've got fungi over here. There might be some more in the basement, actually. I appreciate the concept, but I don't think it could be effectively implemented. Yeah, right. So, like, imagine going back in time and being, like, trying to explain communicating over the internet or something. Like, we have the potential, as time goes on, to become more and more reliant or integrated with technology. So, the doubt is in implementation, but adaptation of more and more technological integration may eventually just make that not really a thing. But yeah, it'd be a really hard thing to convince people to do, you know, like give up systems that they've known and worked with for a long time, and you know, because it's not like you personally choose to start using this new system. Then you need the place you work at to use it, and then the immunities in your area, and then everyone's got to sort of move over together, and that kind of adoption can be really tricky. Ugh, there's another one. Oh god. But if everyone did adopt together, like, the benefits of it would be just amazing. And you can probably think of loads of other things where it's like, oh, if everyone just did it this way, we'd get so many benefits of it. And I think, like, if that's the case, and there's automation, or sorry, like, and it's integrated into electronic systems, you know, like having your smartphone and all that, and all your clocks managed by some clever system somewhere, like, again, the benefits over and over again can just be really beneficial. So yeah, imagine just no one ever having to worry about, like, what time zone am I in, locally speaking, and then the sun is always like optimal in the morning and evening because the clocks change ever so subtly every day. If we change an hour a year over here in the UK, like we have an hour shift, so let me just think. Let's do some like rough off the top of the head math on this one. 365. Hang on, I'm just getting a calculator. So 60 minutes in an hour, 365 days in a year, 0.16. What's that in like a 16th of a minute? That would be less than 16 seconds because that's out of 100. So like you're probably looking at like 10 seconds a day. Like who's gonna, like, you're not gonna notice that. So if it could just all be done synchronously, I mean, it's a great idea, is it not? Come on, chat. Right, I'm gonna get my toolbox out here. You have to factor in the shift back. That would be the point, though. That would be taken care of. You don't have to factor in the shift back. It would happen without you seeing, right? So as you go into summer, you're losing 10 seconds a day without noticing it. And then as you go into winter, those 10 seconds a day are coming back. The issue is coordinating across the world. Some places will be going forward, some will be going backwards. Right, yeah, but Okay, so how can I describe it? So we've got this system that's automatically moving the time back and forward in localized regions. Now, when you organize to go somewhere or to meet up with someone in a different country, different time zones, all that kind of stuff, if that activity is also tied into this system, it can do the calculation for you and tell you at what time you need to be there, both in your time zone and their time zone, right? Like, it's about, like, all of this complicated math that comes out of time zones and changing the time, and just, like, basically passing it off to a system. All of these things are baked into it, and but then it means we have to fully rely on the system. So if you want to go and, you know, meet your friend in Australia, your time zone is going backwards, their one's going forward. It's going to be tricky to figure out, but if your system has that built-in capacity for you to go, I need to meet them over there on this day at this time, it'll do the conversion for you, right? Like, it'll take care of that. That's the way I picture, like, the power of the widespread adoption of something like this. Am I convincing anyone? I'm not trying to convince anyone. I know that, like, trying to convince the world to adopt some sort of system like this would just, you know, it wouldn't happen. But, like, it could happen potentially over time anyway, just by good ideas and technology propagating better. Because, like, it's like, you know, go back in time and convince people to do all of their communication over the internet. You know, send emails. It's better than the post. And they'll be like, well, you know, what if I want to send an email to someone who hasn't got a computer? You know, I'm not going to do this crazy idea you're talking about. It's like that. A better thing, in my opinion, with the time shifting back and forward is that it's not needed. We did it back in the day to have more sunlight. We don't need to do it anymore due to technology. Instead, we should all agree to stay in the middle. I won't read the rest of the message. There are health reasons. So if you think about how we have time as, like, you know, a concept, and we use a clock to measure it, right? Before we had clocks, people most likely would have worked in some form of synchronicity with the sun. And the sunlight in the morning helps you wake up and has health benefits and whatnot, right? If we stick to the same time on our measurement of time on the clocks throughout the whole year, we will end up shifting our circadian rhythm over time, which is not as healthy as sticking to a rhythm based on sunlight. So when we say, oh, all we need to do is just ignore the time zone changes, we can do that, but then unless we choose to, you know, start work earlier in the day or later, depending on what time of year, we're not shifting with the circadian rhythm, right? So what I'm talking about is sticking to the sun, if that wasn't obvious. Maybe I didn't articulate that point, is that the major benefit you'd gain from offsetting this to a system is that everyone still operates like, oh yeah, I start work at 9 throughout the year, but subtly that will be different each day. Not that we would really see it, because it would be warped towards the rhythm of the sun going around the planet, and therefore better for our own personal circadian rhythms, right? This talk is going over my head, says Rumus. Oh, I'm sorry if I lost you. Oh, I'm sorry. Let's get a bit more music on. But X, your day will get shorter in winter and longer in the summer, says the Thinky. Depends how it's done, right? Because all you're doing is you're shifting the time at which the day starts, air quotes. I don't know, you might be right, actually. You might be right. I need to maybe think it through a little deeper. I might be incorrect about something here. Oh god, I need tons of this stuff. I ain't getting it all today. Just realised. And you just end up with loads of those blocks. I'm getting way more of them than I am what I actually want. I'm annoyed now. No, I'm not annoyed. Getting some shroom lights too. Go in there. Go. Getting some shroom lights too, we are. I think I need, like... I made a note. Let me go look at my notes. We need 5 stacks of crimson, 8 of warped. So actually I need tons of this stuff. Great, okay. I thought it was the one I needed less of. So maybe what we'll do, before we go up top, is just like get a whole row of these done, right? Then pick it all up. Hey, it's the one, the only, it's Music Man, here for 20 months. Say, my dude, how's it going? How is it going? Grow! There we go. Music Man says, thank you for always being such a legend, my brother. Love and appreciate your support and belief in me from day one. No problem, my dude. I'm honoured to know you, to be able to use your music and support you. It's been great, my dude. Appreciate it. I do like your idea. I have to admit that. I will tell you that it can be done a lot easier than you think. The time changing every day with everything except for the Big Ben. But something like Big Ben would have to be hooked up to the system. Someone pointed out that the days might actually therefore end up being shorter in another part of the year. I don't know. I just love how, you know, we can use like data and a more scientific understanding of the world to glean insights, and then possibly hand that over to technology. Like here's something I saw in a movie that I'd thought about for a long time. Is that you can like analyze a lot of information from your blood about like what's going on in your body, and then it's like, oh, what if those things could be automated, and you could just like take on the advice of this system that's automated about what you should do. And it was in this movie with is it Ian McGregor, and he urinates into a toilet, and the toilet has now has the built-in technology to analyze his urine and tell him how he should change his diet, right? And it's like, oh, you should eat more fish. I love the idea of like having all these bio tracking measurements and then having some automated system be able to be like, you need to exercise a bit more today or whatever, you know. Like I love all of that. That sounds so cool to me. Now that's something you can do on a personal level already, you know, Fitbits and whatnot, and there's other tools as well. But then if you then think about society and groups of people and the productivity that we have together collectively, how we advance our technology and produce goods for one another and undertake certain practices or whatever, you know, the general, it all amounts to the general well-being of humanity. And so like if those ideas could just be spread upwards, like, so imagine we create the app that's like we call it optimal behavior, right? The optimal behavior app, and we program this to give everyone advice and tips based on their Fitbit measurements or whatever, how many steps they're getting in, how well are you sleeping, right? And then everyone has to use it, okay? It's my little enforced utopia, right? It's weird to think, but if everyone got like 1% better sleep today, like everyone's day would just be slightly better, and then how we interact with one another constantly would then be slightly better in many different measurements. So like as of me implementing my app idea, everyone operates under the guidance of optimal behavior, as we call it. So everyone gets a little bit better sleep today than they did yesterday. Imagine, like, there will be less car crashes. There will be, you know, so many things, better interactions, because they're all like a magnitude of other differences. Like, if there's a car crash, you know, not every car crash is because someone is sleepy, but there's a lot of car crashes happening every day around the world, and like some of them will be attributed to a lack of sleep. So it's like having more optimal behavior from people will just have benefits in a multitude of directions, and it could go really far, this idea. Like, I don't even know how far. Like, You can make a whole bunch of arguments though about like personal freedoms and taking choice away from people and yada yada yada. I get all that. I just get really excited by the idea of like how much our lives could change if we all understood like better practices and had better ideas that change our behavior, etc., etc. And like the concept of like an app that can just have these ideas sort of baked into them and give them to people, and like widespread adoption could just instantly create incremental improvements all over the place. Fascinating. Sounds a very dystopian novel I've read that's ended in revolution, says Everstu. Yeah, well that's because like I'm saying, it's like in the current, like I'm saying, like everyone would just use it by default, right? To get across the point that if everyone achieves, you know, a little extra sleep tonight, the day tomorrow will have less car crashes, less mistakes, etc., etc., right? If that's enforced upon people, yeah, it's going to go dystopian. But imagine if, like, I don't know, there's got to be something similar that we all do. Like, everyone's, like, adopted the smartphone now, right? Like, can you imagine going back 30 years and enforcing the smartphone on everyone? Oh, you'll have all these benefits. You'll have, you know, music in your pocket. You'll be able to watch some guy chop down weird green trees on the internet and waffle about stuff. Like, there's all these little benefits that come from having a smartphone. I haven't picked some very good examples, but, you know, oh, you'll be able to just order a taxi or food without having to talk to anyone. Which may not be the best benefit, the lack of social part, but you know what I mean, like the convenience. Like, imagine trying to tell people 30 years ago, just, you know, everyone adopt this advice and we'll have it. The capacity wasn't there 30 years ago, says Peaches Smash. It wasn't there. This is, okay, so, like, the point that I'm trying to make is that when you're expressing an idea for the future, and you look at it now, the capacity, as you put it, isn't there. Because what we have now would have still been relevant in the past. It would have been relevant to be able to pull a little device out of your pocket and call on a taxi or order some food, right? So I'm expressing these ideas as if, hey, you know, this might be how it is in the future, right? It might work like this. Imagine if we could do it today, though, because someone's got to start innovating. Someone's got to push things in a direction. Like, you got to have a vision for the future and then try and create, I guess, the product for it or whatever. The entire humanity's knowledge in your pockets is Surprise Tea. Exactly. Exactly. Like that. That's a thing now. So, metaverse, Xisuma, says Mr. Kazik. No, I wouldn't attribute it to the metaverse. But possibly. I mean, the metaverse is a bit of a interesting term because it's being quite heavily associated with artificial intelligence, virtual reality at the moment, right? Whereas the term meta is more about, like, meta means, if you think of it in terms of data or information, it's like the data of data or the information of information. So, like, you know, you've got statistics or data, but then how can I describe this? Like, I can put together a bunch of data, right? I can survey all of you, and then I go, look, I found 10% of people like this, 10% will like that. But the meta reality of it is more like that there's like a demographic involved, right? The data of the data. How often does X actually collect statistical data would then tie into the value of that data. Right? Like, sometimes data is like let's say on something on like an image on your computer, it's like, you know, here's the image and, you know, maybe it's of someone, but then the metadata can be like, when was it taken? How big is the file? And it tells you more information about the initial information. So in terms of the metaverse and the virtual reality stuff, I think like the meta term is like about how so much stuff can be tied into it, really. I don't know, it's a bit of a tricky one. Data always needs to be understood within the context of its existence, Curls of Doom says. Yeah, so, like, I can't remember if I talked about this on stream. I think I talked about it to you individually, Curls, but, like, this concept of racist technology. Sounds a bit loaded, right? But basically, like, take this idea and just try and think about, like, how many places something similar to this could exist in society, right? That there are these sinks for washing your hands in that are automated, right? You put your hand under, the water comes out, you wash your hands, you walk away, the water stops. Problem was, there was a demographic for which this product was created with, which was white people, right? And that's just because those are the people working on the product and creating it. It's not racism like, they're marching around Zeke Hiling or something. It's just that, like, that wasn't created with all demographics and all types of people in mind. So then people of different skin colours go to use this sink and it's not working for them like it does for the people who created it. And that's the kind of thing you want to correct for in society. We want a society for everyone, not for just certain types of people. And this applies for data collection as well. So you'll hear statistics about, 70% of people like this and 80% of people want that. But then you have to ask, like, well, who's been polled? Who are those people? What is the demographic? Because in different populations and with different representations, it might not replicate the same way. And so, when you hear about statistics and information, the context of them is extremely important. Because they tell a picture based on, how that data has been assembled, who's asked. Also, like, there's the quality of the data or what sorts of questions have been asked. So if you're doing like a questionnaire type thing, you can ask questions that implement answers within the question itself. I don't have a good idea to mind right now, but I know it's a thing. Why do you sound so tired? I don't think you're feeling too well, says Scoot. I feel absolutely fine, Scoot. I don't know why you think I'm not feeling well. If I were talking like this, and then... yeah, you could say I wasn't feeling too well. That was me trying to not feel too well with my voice, and I don't know how enough that sounds. Probably very goofy. Usually everything I do, very, very goofy. By the way, we had another noise in the ear. It was Guin, or Quuin even, 128. Thank you for the prime, my dude. Greatly appreciated. Curls, I see you typing. Type away. This is calming and mind-boggling at the same time. Good. I've achieved what I want to achieve, which is the mind-boggle and the soothe. Hope this makes sense. Too much technology has lowered people's interactions with other humans, and people mostly forget how to interact. It's not good for humans. We are mostly social creatures. COVID showed how bad interaction can be, as a lot of preschoolers missed a lot of this needed skill at preschools and are having to teach what should have been learnt at baby meets, etc., says Velvet. Yeah, you're absolutely right. No doubt about it. Something needs to happen there, right? So going back to my optimized behavior app, okay, that everyone has to use. I don't know if there'd be a way to track this, either like biometrically through the body, or just, the app keeps track of your habits, when you last saw people, what your mood's like, etc., etc. Like, you could get reminders, you need to socialize, or whatever. Again, optimize people's behavior through like automation and use of data, la 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 la. It sounds terrible, doesn't it? It sounded good when it was like, go to bed early today, you need to do that, or eat more spinach, you need more iron. Because you peed in the toilet that understands what you've been eating and tells you you've got deficits and whatnot. That sounds okay, but now the optimized behavior app is telling me I need to go socialize. This feels a bit weird. No, you're absolutely right though. technology connects us but separates us at the same time, and so it's something everyone needs to be aware of and needs to sort of understand how that relates to them individually and what they need to do about it, I guess. And what does Curls say? Google Translate algorithm had to be changed due to it being stereotypically biased when translating from gender-neutral languages like Finnish. Check DMS for details. When translating from Finnish, Han, she, he cleans, the algorithm would translate to she cleans in English based on how the algorithm was gathering and learning from data off the internet. Google wasn't able to fix this and now offers two translated versions, one with male and female version when the text is translated from a gender neutral language. Fascinating example right there, right? And you know, that involves machine learning algorithms and whatnot as well. So like the idea that something like that can be unbiased is potentially flawed. I mean, as I've grown older and learned more and more stuff and thought about it a lot, it honestly feels to me like bias might be something that is completely inescapable, and that actually we need to realize that, you know, bias can be strong or weak, and it can go in several different directions. It can be unintentional, sometimes not, but like, again, having a broader understanding, a broader context, always gives you a bit more reason to think things through, and then see things like that and have an opinion on them, or not get the wrong opinion out of it or something, right? Super interesting, that one though, girls. Super interesting. I don't think I'd actually heard that example. When I started reading, I thought he was going to go with something else that I heard of. But yeah. But yeah, right, let's get this bit here. We've got Tree1 using the old Amazon Prime to subscribe. Thank you so much, my dude. Greatly appreciated. We've also got 1,800 peeps tuning in. Thank you for joining me at such a weird time on a Friday morning. Be sure to hit the follow button over here on Twitch if you've enjoyed the stream and had a good time. And if you haven't, if you're like, oh god, this stream's awful, why are you still watching? God, what's wrong with you? Google Translate is only good at single words, says Kristin. Now, depending on what language, you might find that even that it's not good at. Like, depends on the language, right? Because I know there's languages that use what is it, like a lot of Asian languages, Cantonese and Japanese, like use more. I think they're like expressions, like the symbols, the characters are more like language can just be assembled in so many different ways, right? Like English is very like, here's a bunch of words that describe stuff and like stitch them together however you want. So like one thing I love about English is when foreigners speak it. You might call it broken English, but it's like they can utilize the language to get the same value out of it. It's just sort of constructed differently. Whereas other languages are way more rigid and have other concepts baked into them as well, like gender. Like French is gendered language. So like there's just many different ways language can be pulled together. It might not always just be word for word, you know. Sarek, thank you for 5 months of support. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. The problem with trying to make an app that influences behavior is the most dangerous question of how does it get funded? Amazon and Facebook are very keen on how to modify behavior, says Michael Anus TV. Yeah, that's a really good point. There is already technology out there that benefits from modifying the behavior of us. A lot of those apps and products are actually designed with an understanding of, you know, the psychology of the mind and how to best exploit it for their gain and their needs, right? To keep you engaged and whatnot. So as we were saying a moment ago about bias, it kind of ties in like that, is that app would have bias. And also there's the problem of like, you can gather data about where people's behavior is not optimal, but then when everyone changes that behavior together to something new that's optimal, when everyone does it together at the same time, it might then become inoptimal in other ways. Like, those big systems of like data and all the different moving parts and how you can optimize and change things, always really interesting to me. And obviously, like, people, us, we're all interconnected, we're all part of a society, we're all moving cogs in the wheel, and we're like one big system in a way, you know? All our little decisions add up and affect one another. It's fascinating. I can't wait to tune in again. Wait, that's only half the message. I have to go. Thank you for the amazing, thought-provocative stream. I can't wait to tune in again. Glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. That's great feedback. Esney, thank you for 12 months. Greatly appreciated. We got MF Cage here with the Prime subscription. Thank you for your Prime, my dude. Thanks for using that on me. TikTok's algorithm is scary good, and they aren't even trying to hide their attempts at manipulating people, says Child and Mars. Yeah, well, in China, they manipulate the platforms so that they boost a lot of education-oriented videos and topics, which, you know, I'll be more inclined to a more freedom-oriented, less intrusive form of governance, but when they're pushing education on people, I find that, like, harder to disagree with, I guess. But yeah, what China does with TikTok for young people is fascinating. They try and espouse, you know, values of education-oriented type content, you know, for the betterment of the next generation, or something like that. Pioneers, thank you ever so much for the Prime, I do greatly appreciated. Yes, pushing education, says Blackjack. I mean, the air quotes there implying their education, right? I mean, I imagine some of it is going to be baked into the ideology of the country or the governing body of the country, but some of it is like science education and whatnot too, right? And I'm down with that science, me. Anyway, it's been a long stream from me because I won't be able to stream again for a while, so yeah. Hit that follow button to catch me at some point in the future. Just not anytime soon. I'm going to have to wrap this one up, aren't I? What have I got to do? Got to put that thing on the screen. Alright. Whatever that says. Go to all of those. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to my channels. Yada, yada, yada. Thank you everyone for tuning in. I appreciate it. I want to say a big thanks to all the mods, the Patreons, the people gifting the subs. Y'all are appreciated. And we'll raid Daisy today, who's the only person I know currently streaming. If you want to listen to some beautiful singing and guitar playing, then stick around, be a part of the raid. Otherwise, I'm out of here. So take care, everyone. Have a great day. Bye-bye.